ninth graders. So my name is Mrs. Cormos, and I'm the current AP Euro history teacher. And I've just kind of put together this informational video, one, to say hi. Second, just to tell you a little bit of information about AP Euro next year. So I'm also the AP coordinator here at Decatur High School. So if you ever have any questions about what AP is, what it involves, what AP does for your college transcripts, how colleges look at AP, I would be the person that you would definitely want to be talking to. If you're a person that likes to take a little bit more time and look at kind of one place, one time, smaller pieces of information, then AP Euro is going to be your fit. If you like a wider swath of information that's a little more broad and not as detailed, but it will move a little quicker pace, then AP World is probably going to be more your fit. In terms of both courses, both of them will involve essay writing, which is a little bit different from the social studies course that you're in currently right now. And we look for in-depth study with historical content. For my course, I start at 1450, and it's really looking at all of the modern developments in Europe, everything from the Protestant Reformation, French Revolution, World War I, World War II. AP World is going to go back a little bit further than that, looking at it more from 1250 on, looking at historical movements all over the world. In AP Euro, the very first hopefully semester that we'll be back together again next year. Some of the first things that you'd be learning about if you were in my classroom. And I really encourage you guys to take AP Euro. It's a great course. It's a fun course. We do a lot of discussion too. So if you like to talk and you like to share ideas, this is definitely the course for you. We also look at a lot of comparisons between AP Euro and the upcoming course, AP US, because AP Euro and US are so tied together and influencing of each other and the information and things like that. So if you have any follow-up questions about AP programs in general or anything about AP Euro next year, don't hesitate to email me. I'm Mrs. Cormos, and so you want to email me at akormos@fwps.org, or you can give any questions to your current teacher. So that's Mr. Harwood, and he can pass those questions along. Stay strong, stay in the AP program. AP will set you up to be very successful in college, as well as give you that advantage when you're in the college admission process. So keep that going, all right? Hope to see all of you guys next year. Take care, and I hope you're my AP Euro students next year. Bye, everybody.
Hi, my name is Oscar, and the class I'll be talking about today is AP Microeconomics, and I'm taking it right now with Mr. Lance. And something that helped me to be most successful in the class was, so I read the chapters and I take like little notes on it, because so there are resources you can find. And one resource I found was I found someone else's notes for the entire book, and so I compare my notes to theirs, and theirs are just more in depth. So before tests, I just skim over theirs. And I also use, like, Quizlet has some good notes on, like, for definitions. You can find a lot on Quizlet. For like the chapters, it's not that difficult to find. So my strategy for, like, before tests, I just look at my notes a little bit and then skim over the more in-depth notes, and then that's all you really need to do for the chapter quizzes, which are every week. And my experience, the most challenging part of the class is having to remember, like, everything from the beginning, because like the tests are like cumulative for most of the part. It's like something you learn in the beginning could be on the test later, but it's like it makes sense because like everything is kind of connected in the class anyways. So it's like you should know the stuff in the beginning. It's not even that bad though. Like, it's alright. Like, it's nothing too bad. And one piece of advice I'd give to people like going into the AP Microeconomics is it's like try not to overthink things, because a lot of it's not like common sense, or like kind of common sense, but it's like if you overthink it, it'll get way worse for you. And like if you can just like look at the question, and then if you like think about it too much, it'll just get way harder for you. Like if you just look at the question and be like, that it's asking me something very simple, like you should just try to keep it simple. Even if the answer and like the numbers and everything are like crazy, you should just try to. The more simple you keep it, the easier it gets for me. So I think it's a really fun class. I like learning about economics. I think everyone should, because it gives you a perspective on like the way like the country operates basically. And I think you should take the class. And Mr. Lance is a really cool guy.
Hi, my name is Anna, and today I'm going to be reading off a few teacher responses for AP history classes. So let's get started. Okay, so AP Microeconomics with the teacher being Mr. Lance. So Mr. Lance says that a student needs to study around 2 to 3 hours a week to pass the class, or 3 or more hours to get an A, depending on how driven the student is. In terms of outside work, Mr. Lance says that you would need to spend around 5 to 8 hours a month, depending on studying habits and access to resources, to pass the AP exam in May. For recommended study resources for AP Microeconomics, Mr. Lance recommends Crash Course Economics videos, ACDC Econ videos, and any AP Microeconomics study books. Some skills that a student needs to be successful in AP Microeconomics is organization for sure, motivation, so why are you taking this course and what are you hoping to get out of it, discipline / the ability to stick with something when it's difficult and or doesn't come easily, problem-solving skills, and bonus, visual and spatial awareness for graph comprehension and manipulations. Mr. Lance recommends that you take AP World History before going into AP Microeconomics, and that you will have a good general idea of economics and its function in society. Other than that, there are no really required prerequisite courses for the class. The greatest benefit of taking AP Microeconomics is to be able to analyze visually how people and businesses interact with each other and the things that influence those interactions, no matter how meaningless they may seem. So that could be branding and non-price competition, for example. One piece of advice that Mr. Lance gives to taking this course and to the AP pathway in general is to work hard and to give your best effort. There are a lot of other things you could be doing that would probably be more fun, trade-offs, but the ability to reason and put forth your best effort, regardless of the result, will net you the best gain both in this course and in your life outside of school. It's good advice for school and good practice for your continued success in life. And lastly, some students that you may want to turn to for more insight on the course could be Cole Jackson, Matthew Miller, Justin Koo, so those are past students, or current students, Alicia Meha, Claire Zhu, Oscar Rincon, Camelia Bryant, Jalen Amedi. They would all be good resources for looking into the class. So for student responses for AP US History, we have Elizabeth Delgado and Sofia Martinez. Elizabeth says that as soon as she began to read the chapters and actually understand the topics being discussed in class, she started to enjoy the class more because she could actually participate. She says if you're really trying, she knows that Mr. Vera won't let you fail and that she's really generous and helps a lot, so just ask. And then Sofia Martinez says that this is not an easy class, so work hard, put in effort, do your homework, and do everything you can to absorb as much information for your exam at the end of the year. Make sure you vocalize your needs to Mr. Vera, otherwise she won't know how to help you. And trust the process and don't give up. There are so many times when you feel like, I can't do this anymore, but you need to keep on going. Not only is this class difficult, but junior year is as well, and it is such an important year. At the end, you will feel so accomplished. Lastly, she hopes that you treat Mr. Rivera with respect and be kind to her. She only wants what's best for you. Mr. Vera says in terms of outside classwork, to succeed in the course, you would need to spend probably around an hour a day. Most of the homework outside of class is learning the content through the textbook or other resources so that you are fully able to participate in class and apply what you have learned there. Some study resources that she recommends is Heimlich's History on YouTube. She says he is awesome. There are other resources, and honestly, you have to find what fits your needs best. College Board can be good, as are other study books, but honestly, utilizing the textbook and many of the materials that she provides in class is sufficient. Some skills that Ms. Rivera recommends to be successful in the class would be to be able to manage your time and do work outside of class. She says this is a huge part. We have so much content to get through and that you have to be accountable for learning a good portion of it outside of class. She says that she can help you build study skills, but you have to be willing to put in the effort. Some specific courses Ms. Rivera recommends before enrolling in the class would be to having either taken AP Euro or AP World is helpful because the AP tests are similar, but it isn't required. She says that she can still teach you all the skills necessary to be successful. Ms. Rivera considers the biggest benefits of taking the class to be the potential to earn college credit, the fact that if you take the course, you are going to gain skills that will prepare you to read, write, and study for college classes, and that once you take the course, you will take time to actually learn about history and how to search for the truth so that you can become an informed member of society. One piece of advice that Ms. Rivera would like to give students for this course and for students following an AP pathway in general would be that the class is difficult, but it is so much better to take a hard class in high school where you have teachers to support you than when you get to college. She would also say that anyone can take an AP class. Don't let the name scare you. Okay, for outside work per month to pass the AP test in May, Ms. Rivera says that you would need to cover, honestly, a pretty good amount because APUSH covers content from 1491 to present day. There's no way that we can learn everything there is to know content-wise and practice the necessary skills. We focus on skills in class. If you want to ensure you know most of the potential content, you have to be good at studying and keeping up with the reading so that you know all the content that would come up on the test. For students to turn to for further information on the course, Ms. Rivera recommends Elizabeth Delgado and Sophia Martinez.
Hi, my name is Freya Kijis, and AP Comparative Government is one of my favorite classes I've ever taken. It's really one of those classes that makes you feel like what you're learning is going to be important in your future and you're actually going to use the information from this class in your future, such as when you learn about your role in society. If you didn't know, government is actually really involved in a lot of the classes you're taking or are going to take, so the stuff that you learn in this class really interconnects with other stuff. Also, since it's comparative government, you get to learn about governments from other countries and compare them a lot and learn more about different countries. One thing that's really helped me out with this class is being able to space out my assignments and get stuff done on my schedule so that I could get the best grade possible and end with the grade that I want. Another thing that's helped is that there's tons of resources for AP Comparative Government. If you didn't know, you're actually exposed to it a lot on the news and social media. So that really helps you get more information and it helps you learn more even though you're not really noticing it. Something that's been kind of hard in this class is that you really have to remember the stuff from previous units. So all of the units are just adding on. So you have to remember the stuff from Unit 1 all the way to Unit 5. There aren't that many units in AP Comparative Government, so that's great, but what you're learning is really important. So something that I would tell people that are coming into this class is to really ask questions, because the more you ask, the more you know.
Okay, so moving on to AP Comparative Government, with the teacher being Mr. Eastman. In terms of outside classwork to succeed in the course, he says that if you can put in a true solid hour of reading and review every day, you will be just fine. For recommended study resources, he says that he will provide most of the resources / websites that you'll need, but that if you take the course, you will be making extensive use of AP Classroom. Some skills that you might need to be successful in this class would be self-discipline and organization. Those are always helpful, but the truly useful qualities are going to be dedication to doing the work, even when it is a bit dry, and above all, an inquisitive nature. Being willing and able to ask questions will get you very far. Specific courses that he recommends before enrolling in the class would be to take some form of U.S. history, but as far as prior learning needed, being somewhat familiar with the basics of the U.S. Constitution before class would be useful. Mr. Eastman considers the greatest benefit of taking this class to be creating within yourself a greater understanding of government and how it impacts us every day. Learning about how decisions made in other countries affect your life, how both live in and preserve a democracy that is as fragile as it's ever been. Clearly, he says, I have a great deal of passion for this topic. One piece of advice that Mr. Eastman would like to offer for this course and for the AP pathway in general would be to work as hard as you're able to, but don't sacrifice your health. A sleep-deprived student doesn't learn very much. When asked how much outside work a student would need to pass the AP test in May, Mr. Eastman said that I wouldn't expect you to prepare yourselves outside of the assigned classwork for more than an extra couple hours a month, and that would be used primarily as review. If you give me your attention in class and your effort outside of it for 1, sometimes 2 hours a night, you will be ready for your test. In terms of students that you could turn to look for further information on the course, Mr. Eastman says, I know there are several senior leadership kids in my class this year, including the class president, Kelsey Zern, and vice president, Catherine Hernandez. You can speak to any of them, and I'm sure that they'll be happy to give you the rundown on my class and how I do things.